When you hear the phrase, quit sugar for 30 days, you probably imagine two things at the same time: a flatter belly and horrible cravings. Both are partly true. I'm Dr. Catherin Harris, and in this video, I'm going to walk you day by day and week by week through what actually happens inside your body when you remove added sugar for 30 days, and why that 1 month can act like a reset button for your metabolism, your hormones, your mood, and even your skin. Before we dive into the timeline, I need to make one thing very clear. When I say quit sugar in this video, I'm talking primarily about added sugars and highly refined sugars. The sugar in sodas, juices with added sugar, pastries, candy, sweetened yogurts, commercial sauces, ultra-processed snacks, and desserts. The big health organizations focus on these added sugars because they are strongly linked to weight gain, tooth decay, and a higher risk of chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes and heart disease. CNIB. 1. Natural sugars in whole fruits, vegetables, and plain dairy behave very differently because they come packaged with fiber, water, and nutrients. Globally, health guidelines are surprisingly aligned about this. The World Health Organization recommends keeping free sugars under 10% of your daily calories, with a suggestion to go below 5% for extra benefits. Organización Mundial de la Salud, DUS. In practical terms, the American Heart Association translates this into no more than about 6 teaspoons of added sugar a day for most women and 9 teaspoons for most men. www.heart.org/3. Yet the average adult often eats roughly double that, sometimes without even realizing it, because sugar is hidden in so many foods. www.heart.org/4. So when you quit added sugar for 30 days, you're not doing something extreme. You're simply lining your daily life up with what the science has been telling us for years. Now, what is sugar actually doing inside your body right now? Every time you drink a sugary soda or eat a sweet pastry, your blood sugar rises quickly. Your pancreas releases insulin, the hormone that helps pull glucose out of your blood and move it into your cells for energy or storage. When this happens occasionally, your body handles it well. But when it happens multiple times a day, every single day, over months and years, insulin levels tend to stay high. That constant insulin stimulation is associated with weight gain, increased belly fat, higher triglycerides, and an increased risk of insulin resistance and cardiovascular disease, PMC 5. Sugar doesn't just affect your waistline and your heart. It affects your brain and mood too. High added sugar intake has been linked to more fatigue, poorer concentration, and a higher risk of depression over time, likely through inflammation, changes in gut bacteria, and stress hormone disruption, PMC 6. It affects your teeth by feeding the bacteria that cause cavities. European Food Safety Authority. 7. It can aggravate skin problems by promoting inflammation and a process called glycation that damages collagen, accelerating visible skin aging. National Geographic 8. So when you remove added sugar for 30 days, you're removing a pressure on almost every system in your body. With that big picture in mind, let's walk through your 30 days. The first thing you notice usually isn't weight loss, it's withdrawal. In the first 3 to 5 days, your body and brain are reacting to the loss of something they're used to getting, often many times a day. You might feel irritable, low energy, foggy, or strangely empty after meals where you used to have something sweet. You may notice intense cravings, especially in the late afternoon or at night. This is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a sign that your reward pathways and your habits have adapted to sugar. Sugar lights up the brain's reward system, triggering dopamine release in ways that can train you to reach for it whenever you're stressed, bored, or tired. When you suddenly remove it, those pathways start firing. Where is my usual reward? That is why the first week can feel more psychological than physical. At the same time, your blood sugar is no longer spiking as high, so your body is learning to stabilize energy without that quick sugar hit. If your usual diet was very high in sugary drinks or ultra-processed snacks, these first days can feel rough. If your sugar intake was moderate, you may notice only mild cravings and a bit of fatigue. This is the part where many people give up, because it feels like the new you is going to be permanently tired and grumpy. But this is just the turbulence at takeoff. As long as you're eating enough real food, protein, healthy fats, fiber-rich carbohydrates like vegetables, legumes, and whole grains, your body has what it needs to adapt. What you absolutely should not do is replace all sugar with huge amounts of artificial sweeteners in an attempt to trick your body. The data about some sweeteners is still evolving, and they may maintain your sweet cravings even if they reduce calories. Gov.uk 9. Your goal here is not to replace one dependency with another. It's to calm the whole system down. Somewhere between days 4 and 7, many people notice something important. Their energy stops crashing as hard in the afternoon. When you remove added sugar, your blood sugar peaks are generally lower and smoother, so the crashes tend to be less dramatic. Healthline 10. You may still feel a little tired if your sleep hasn't been great, or your caffeine habits are irregular. But that sharp, "I need something sweet right now," or "I will explode," feeling often begins to soften. This is your body proving to you that it can run on more stable fuel. Around this same time, your taste buds start to change. When you're used to high sugar foods, natural sweetness in fruit, sweet potatoes, or carrots can feel almost invisible. After a week of no added sugar, many people notice that an apple tastes surprisingly sweet and satisfying. This is not magic, it's physiology. Your taste receptors are becoming more sensitive again because they're not being overwhelmed all day long. National Geographic. 8. That increased sensitivity is one of your best allies for making changes stick. By the second week, roughly days 8 to 14, internal changes start to become more obvious. First, your blood sugar regulation continues to improve. With less added sugar coming in, your pancreas doesn't have to release as much insulin. Over time, this can improve insulin sensitivity, which means your cells respond better to insulin and require less of it to move glucose out of your bloodstream. Healthline 10. For someone with type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, this can be very beneficial, but it is essential to work with your own doctor if you are on medication, because blood sugar and medication needs can shift as diet changes. Second, many people notice less bloating. When you cut sugary drinks, pastries, candies, and many packaged foods, you often reduce not just sugar, but also refined flour, excess sodium, and certain additives that can contribute to water retention and digestive discomfort. Your gut bacteria also start to shift because you're no longer feeding them constant simple sugars, and ideally, you're increasing fiber from whole foods. This change in your microbiome composition can influence digestion, inflammation, and even mood. PMC 6. Third, your skin may begin to look subtly different. Quitting sugar won't magically erase every skin issue, but lowering added sugar reduces the constant glucose spikes that accelerate glycation, a process where sugar molecules damage proteins like collagen and elastin in your skin. National Geographic 8. As inflammation drops, some people notice fewer breakouts, less facial puffiness, and a more even tone. It's not a cosmetic trick. It's a byproduct of your internal chemistry becoming calmer. Emotionally, week 2 is powerful because you start to feel the benefits and not just the discomfort. Many people report that their mood feels more stable, their mental clarity is better, and they're less on edge all the time. Healthline 10. Part of this is physiological. Your blood sugar isn't yanking your brain up and down all day. Part of it is psychological. You've proven to yourself for almost 2 weeks that you can do something you may have believed was impossible. That sense of control over your choices is incredibly empowering. As you move into days 15 through 21, the changes in your body composition can become more visible. I want to be very honest here. Not everyone loses the same amount of weight, and calories still matter. But when you remove sugary drinks and ultra-processed sweets, you usually remove a large number of empty calories that do almost nothing for your satiety or your nutrient status. The nutrition source. 11. Many people naturally eat fewer overall calories without deliberately restricting, simply because they feel full from real food instead of chasing a sugar high. Over this time, it's common to see changes in waist circumference, a modest drop in body weight, and improvements in blood pressure and triglycerides, especially if quitting sugar is part of a general shift toward whole, minimally processed foods. MDPI 12. Inside your body, your liver is storing less excess sugar as fat, and your blood vessels are being exposed to fewer glycation and oxidation processes associated with high sugar intake. CNIB1. You may not see those changes on the outside, but they matter profoundly for your long-term heart and metabolic health. During this third week, cravings usually change in character. In week 1, you crave the chemical hit. You want something sweet, anything sweet, to make the discomfort stop. In week 3, cravings are often more emotional and situational. You might walk past a bakery that reminds you of childhood, or sit down to watch a movie and feel that something is missing because you always had ice cream. This is where you're not just rewiring your metabolism, you're rewiring your associations. If you can learn to respond differently, tea instead of soda, fruit instead of candy, a short walk instead of a sugary snack, you're literally building new pathways in your brain. By the time you reach days 22 to 30, your body has had almost a full month without added sugar, and several things are often true. First, your energy is more even. You may still get tired after a long day, of course, but that desperate need for a sugar jolt is often gone. Many people report that their mornings feel clearer and their afternoons feel less like a slump they have to survive. Healthline Den. Second, your sleep may be deeper and more refreshing because you're not dealing with as many nighttime blood sugar swings or late-night sugary snacks that interfere with rest. Third, many people notice significant improvements in mood and stress resilience. High sugar diets are associated with a higher risk of depression and anxiety, and although 30 days won't magically cure complex mental health conditions, lowering sugar removes one contributor to inflammation and hormonal instability. Very Well Health 13. You may find you feel more emotionally steady and less vulnerable to mood crashes linked to your eating patterns. Fourth, your risk profile for future disease has shifted in a meaningful way. Excessive added sugar intake is linked to higher risks of obesity, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver disease, cardiovascular disease, and certain other metabolic problems. Kineb 1. 30 days won't erase decades of habits, but it does two powerful things. It lowers your current metabolic burden, and it shows you, through your own experience, that your body is capable of responding and improving when you change your inputs. Now, I want to address a crucial nuance. There's a lot of extreme language around sugar online. Some influencers frame sugar as a poison, and if you ever eat it again after your 30 days, you've failed. That kind of all-or-nothing thinking can be harmful and may even promote disordered eating patterns. Recent expert commentary has criticized approaches that encourage people to eliminate all sugar, including fruit, and to see any slip as a disaster. Marie Claire, UK, 14. As a physician, I am far more interested in helping you build a balanced, flexible relationship with food that you can sustain for years. For most people, the smartest use of a 30-day no-added sugar challenge is not to convince yourself that you will never taste sweetness again. It's to give your body and brain a break long enough to experience life without constant sugar hits. Reset your taste buds and prove to yourself that cravings are not stronger than you are. After those 30 days, you can decide what role you want sugar to play in your life, and you can decide from a place of clarity, not dependency. So what happens after the 30 days are over? Physiologically, if you go straight back to your old habits, many of the benefits will gradually fade. Your blood sugar will spike more often. Insulin levels will rise, cravings will come back, and your risk factors will drift back toward where they were. But if you use those 30 days as a foundation for a new normal, where sugary drinks are rare instead of daily, desserts are intentional rather than automatic, and whole foods make up most of your diet, you keep many of the metabolic, cardiovascular, and mental health advantages you've started to build. National Geographic 8. The most sustainable pattern for the vast majority of people is not a permanent never again, but a lifestyle where added sugar is the exception, not the rule. That might look like reading labels and choosing products without added sugar most of the time, saving sweets for special occasions, and satisfying your desire for sweetness more often with fruit and naturally sweet foods. It might mean keeping your kitchen stocked with easy, nourishing options so your tired brain doesn't default to cookies every night. If you want more structure, meal plans that focus on no added sugar for heart health and overall well-being can be a helpful starting point. Eating well. 15. There are a few important safety notes I want you to hear clearly. If you have diabetes, kidney disease, liver disease, a history of eating disorders, are pregnant, breastfeeding, or taking medications that affect blood sugar, do not embark on major dietary changes without speaking to your own healthcare provider. Adjusting sugar intake can change how your body responds to medication, and you may need professional guidance to adapt safely. Nothing in this video is a substitute for personal medical care. CDC Columbia, 16. But if you are medically cleared to do it, here is the bottom line. When you quit added sugar for 30 days, your body starts to rebalance in ways you can feel and ways you can't yet see. Your blood sugar swings calm down. Insulin sensitivity often improves. Inflammation begins to settle. Your liver and heart get a break. Your gut bacteria slowly shift in a healthier direction. Your taste buds reset. Your energy and mood become more stable. Your skin, teeth, and waistline often show the difference. Healthline, 10. And perhaps most importantly, your identity shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone who is addicted to sugar and has no willpower, and you start seeing yourself as someone who can make conscious choices, tolerate discomfort for a few days, and build new habits that respect your future self. That psychological shift is priceless, because it doesn't just affect sugar, it affects every health decision you make afterwards. So if you're considering a 30-day break from added sugar, know this. You are not just going on a diet. You're giving your hormones, your metabolism, your brain, and your emotions a chance to remember how good it feels to run on real food and stable chemistry. You're running an experiment on your own body, and you are the only person who gets to experience the full result from the inside. I'm Dr. Catherin Harris, and if you decide to take on those 30 days, I want you to treat it not as punishment, but as an act of curiosity and respect for the body you live in. Your future self will feel the difference, whether the scale moves a lot, a little, or not at all. And once you've seen what your body can do in just 1 month, you'll never again believe that you are stuck where you are today. 1. https://www.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov books NBK 285538 UTM source chatgpt.com Guideline Sugars intake for adults and children NCBI NIH 2. https://www.hu.int-tools-elena interventions free sugars adults NCDs UTM source chatgpt.com Reducing free sugars intake in adults to reduce the risk. 3. https://www.heart.org and healthy living healthy eating eat smart sugar added sugars UTM source chatgpt.com added sugars. 4. https://www.heart.org media files affiliates regional pages California Sacramento HHWH how too much sugar affects your health PDF UTM source chatgpt.com how too much sugar affects your health. 5. https://pmc.cbi.nlm.nih.gov articles as PMC 9762218 UTM source chatgpt.com added sugars drive insulin resistance hyperinsulinemia. 6. https://pmc.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov articles PMC 9966020 UTM source are chatgpt.com the impact of free sugar on human health a narrative. 7. https://www.fsateeuropa.un infographics sugar consumption and health problems UTM source chatgpt.com sugar consumption and health problems chas EFSA. 8. https://www.nationalgeographic.com science article health benefits of reducing sugar UTM source chatgpt. calm, giving up sugar can change your body for the better. 9. https www.gov.uk Government Publications SACN Statement on the WHO Guideline on Non-Sugar Sweeteners SACN Statement on the WHO Guideline on Non-Sugar Sweeteners Summary UTM Source ChatGPT Com SACN Statement on the WHO Guideline on Non-Sugar 10. https www.healthline.com Nutrition 30 days no sugar UTM source ChatGPT Com 30-day no sugar challenge benefits what to expect and 11 https nutrition source hspa.harvard edu carbohydrates added sugar in the diet UTM source ChatGPT Com added sugar the nutrition source 12 https www.mdpi.com 1660-4601/16/15/2680 UTM source ChatGPT.com an observational study of insulin-resistant patients in 13 https www.verywellhealth.com what happens if you eat too much sugar 11776-997 UTM source ChatGPT Com 14 ways eating too much sugar can impact your body and how to cut back 14 https www.marieclaire.co.uk Life Health Fitness Joe Wicks Sugar Ban UTM source ChatGPT Com we're all for boosting our nutrition but experts reckon Joe Wicks sugar ban is problematic here's why 15 https www.eatingwell.com 7-day no sugar meal plan for heart health 1168703-9 UTM source ChatGPT Com 7-day no sugar meal plan for heart health created by a dietitian 16 https www.cdc.gov nutrition php data research added sugars HTML UTM source ChatGPT Com get the facts added sugars nutrition